Good morning, weirdos. I'm going to check the dog here. Now, someone's ready for the show. Is it me? Is it me? Oh, Sam. You want to come hang out, Sam? Come on. Upsy doodle noodle. You hanging out with me or going back to bed? You don't know? You want to go back to bed? Okay. Well, it's not good. You need more water? You want more water? Come on, Bessie. Come on, big Bessie. Come on over here into your bed. Come on, come on. Come on, Bessie. Come on. No, that's Sam's chair. Come on. There you go. Up's the doodle noodle. There you go, good girl. Big old big face. All right, Sam. What are you doing this morning, Sam? Water boy. Get some water for the fish, Sam. Sheesh. You sequestered all night in there? Poor little fella. Sheesh. Well. You coming up here, Sam? Come on. Come on up here, buddy. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's either here or back to bed. Come on. There you go. There you go, buddy. Okay, and we're back. Oh, no wedgie. Well, good morning. This is one of those awesome Mondays where, I think I should feel hungover, but I don't. Yesterday, Sunday, was pretty awesome. St. Patty's Day. I got up in the morning yesterday, and Facebook threw these memories at me, right? Oh, remember this, remember that? And they threw one thing at me, and they said, you want to make a reel out of it? And I thought, wow, okay, this is about the perfect time for a reel, time lengthwise, And yeah, sure, wow, man. So I made this cool reel, a St. Patty's Day reel, and it got 222 views in less than 24 hours. That's got to be my most popular reel yet. I mean, I've had them get to 100 or so in a day, but 222, sheesh, that's crazy. And then I made a couple of reels with Nina from the open mic yesterday. Nina is fantastic. I hope that at some point I can get Nina over here to hang out with me and David and try and put down some interesting music. Yeah, let me get some coffee in me so I can get motivated here. I got to get motivated. My motor has to get vated. So let's see. So open mic was awesome. I get a call from David middle of the afternoon. Says, dude, I'm gonna go to open mic night. You want to come? But it's not night. Yeah, it's open mic day. Okay. So I'm like, okay. I want to stuff my face, and then I'll be right there. So of course, by the time I'm leaving out the door, he's just leaving out the door, and he's a half an hour away, and I'm like two minutes from the bar. So let's get the Sam over here next to me. Hi, buddy. How's it going? You just need to take a break, big buddy. Yeah. So I get down there, and I thought, all right, well, if I'm going to be here for like a couple of hours, I might as well get my load on. So I figured I'm just going to hang out and get loaded for a little bit, because I'm not much of a drinker. Like we've discussed, I'm kind of a lightweight. Unless, of course, I'm drinking really, really slow, and I'm sipping. If I'm sipping on a beer for an hour, I don't know, I'm not really going to catch a buzz off of that beer. If I slam that beer and go grab another one, I'm going to get pretty hammered. I'm going to get pretty hammered and enamored. But yeah, so I was going to, just kind of sit in the van and chill out and get loaded for a little while, and then go in there. And then, I didn't even get the windows rolled down and my Harry Styles cranked up, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm here in open mic. So I had to shut her down and shut down the van and get on in there. And that was packed. I'm telling you, JT Saloon was packed. They had food just flying out the freaking kitchen like it was going crazy. And man, is their food good. Yeah, I mean, you'd think they had that Big John, what's his face there, telling everybody, hey, you guys suck, we need to make this better. John something or other. Bar Rescue, is that what it's called? They don't need Bar Rescue, man. This bar kicks ass. They have got some great gourmet type foods there. Just great burgers and fish and chips, and their ahi, and oh man, it's just a great place to go eat and spend the day, spend the evening. Any time of day that I go there, it's just awesome. I think a long time ago, my wife and I stopped in there, and we weren't real familiar with the area, and we stopped in there to eat, and we're like, oh my God, what's this? Oh my God, what's this? And since then, the food has changed. They I guess got a chef in or something, but the food has just become spectacular. It went from being bar food to being really good restaurant style food attached to a bar. And you can sit outside on the patio and dine with your dogs, which is really cool. I think we went there once for an open mic during the day, and we took our dog, Charlie. And of course, he whined and cried through the whole thing, because that's what Charlie did. Do you want to go to bed? You want to go to Natalia? You want to go to Natalia? Yeah? You don't like it out here? You want to go to bed? Come on, let's get you to bed with Natalia. Come on. Come on. Come on. You want to go with Natalia? Come on. Come on. Give me that eyeball. Come on. Come on. Yeah. So you're saying no then? You're saying you don't want to go to bed with Natalie? Okay. You want to hang out with me? Okay, because usually you like to get covered back up and go to bed. You want me to cover you up so you can go to bed? There you go. You keep acting like you want to socialize. Sam's a funny dog. He really is. He is a really social animal. He's very familial. He just loves to be in charge. He just loves to be in charge. So we're doing coffee, dude. Yeah. So let's see. That's right. I haven't been on the morning since Friday night. Friday night was a ball. It was a blast. Not only did we have a great over an hour long show, but My guest Roy hung out for another 3 4 hours after the show, and we just hung out and talked, had some dinner. It was just awesome. It was a great night. It was a great night all the way around. We got there. You go, buddy. I know it's hard to get comfortable, but it was yeah, it was fantastic. And then did a little bit of work yesterday. Posted another video along with my reel. I posted another Harry Styles concert video. And let's see, here it is. Here's a thumb drive my daughter just gave me with the November 22nd, 1975 at their best. At their very best. Yeah, 1975 at their very best. Live from the Forum, November 2020. It was only the week after, or the week and a half after Harry Styles. And then also on here is February 29th, no, March 1st, I believe. I believe it's March 1st, Harry Styles at the Acrisure Arena, 2023, on his birthday. I believe it's either the end of February or the beginning of March. It's one of those days. I'll have to have my daughter. But that's cool because that means I get to get some more concert footage for you guys to check out. And it is some great stuff. I'll tell you, the 1975 show was phenomenal. At some point, I'll do the entire, well, most of the set from the Black Star Kids, who were the opener for the 1975. They're an internet constructed hip hop group. Really cool, really cool. A lot of high energy stuff, a lot of fun. Those are some kids that I'd love to see more of. See more butts. What's up, Sam? Okay, buddy. Trying to get back to sleep. Get back to sleep, buddy. Yeah. Very, very cool stuff. And those are concerts like those are concerts like 3 and 4 for my daughter. She did Harry Styles in 2021, Harry Styles in 2022. And then from then on, it's just been a whirlwind of concerts. She deserves it. She's done all this work to make it possible for her to get into college and now accepted to university. And her rewards are concerts. She gets concert rewards. She rewards herself constantly with concerts. She actually uses the concerts to do school projects, right? She hangs out with her professors after school and says, how can I work this concert into like a project? Oh, that's so cool. Like, what are you going to say? Oh, cool. I love those guys. I mean, it's really neat, you know? And because she's got an old man father, she's able to really get along with these older professors, and that's really bitching. Yeah, because, you know, I've always been, as a child, I was always able to get along with adults better than kids my own age. And she's kind of like that. But more like she's able to get along with just about everybody. Of course, she'll never claim that she's social or that she can, you know, write well or that she's good at this or that. But she's awesome. She's very humble, and she's very good at what she does. And she is a career student. So 12 years plus kindergarten, that's 13, right? Plus 9 and 10 in college, right? So that's 14 and 15 years in school. Since she was 4. And she got into kindergarten early. They wanted to hold her because she wasn't 5 years old at the start of kindergarten. It took a month for her to age into kindergarten, so they didn't want to put her in. We're like, nah, she's going into kindergarten. She's ready now. She can read. She can write. What? Yeah. So at 4 years old, almost 5, she had been spending time with a friend of ours, an older couple, and she, the wife of the older couple, would look after Natalie while I was working, and Hilda, my wife, was working. She was doing some house cleaning here on occasion and helping us with construction cleanup and helping us to prep for painting and stuff like that. So we were keeping pretty busy, and we didn't want a daycare center. In fact, we tried the best daycare center recommended in the area, and we got in there and plopped our kid down there with the rest of the kids to play while we talked to the adults and checked out the school. And within a couple of minutes, I turned around, and some kid sitting next to my daughter just smacked my daughter right upside the face. And I was appalled. I was flabbergasted that there were no adults supervising these kids sitting in a room together, just doing whatever the hell they wanted to do, right? And I asked them about that, and they had no excuse for why some random kid just walked over and cracked my daughter in the skull. And I said, okay, thank you very much, goodbye. And we got the fuck out of there. And my daughter never saw a daycare, and she never saw a babysitter other than that older couple that we knew. And that was it. And it's because they were neighbors. They had been neighbors and friends, and they were trusted. And that was the only reason we let her spend time with them. And while she was with this friend of ours, lady, she taught our daughter how to read and write, right? So that before she was even in kindergarten, she could read and write. She was reading small books and writing. You know, how bitchin' is that? So she was already ahead of the game when she got to kindergarten, which I think is a big part of her why she's so good today, because she started so early. She had a lot of support, constant support. Yeah, we did homework with her right up into I don't know, 5th or 6th grade, and then it just got too complicated for us because they started changing everything around. All the math, history books were different. Crazy. But by then we had already relocated to Southern California. In fact, she only spent kindergarten in northern Nevada. And then we came down here to Southern California, and that's when she went to 3 schools in 1 year. 3 schools in 1 year. 4. Jacks Valley Elementary, Hanalei Elementary, Monte Vista Elementary, and then finally out here to Morongo Valley Elementary. So it was 4 schools she went to in 1 year. And when that happened, I saw my own life happening, right? Because from the time I started school up into high school, we were moving around all over, just chased, right? Constantly moving, on the road, on the run. And I did not want that for her. I did not want her to go through life not having any friends, getting bad grades because you're always the new kid, right? And you never know what the fuck's going on in school. You're always behind. And I'm like, no, whatever we got to do to stay in this little town so she can finish this school off. I don't care, whatever it takes. And even after I got injured, brutally, viciously injured at work and just destroyed my neck, just squashed my neck and flattened out discs and pinched nerves, and all of a sudden I'm just in constant pain all the time. Can't move, can't think, can't eat, can't sleep. And then I get shingles. No, I get chicken pox, right? And then eventually I get shingles, and it's just one nightmare after another, and then I'm on pain pills for 18 months, just going nowhere but down. The brain's dying, the body's dying, the stomach's dying, everything's just dying, and they just keep throwing pain pills at me. Don't worry about it, sir. Don't worry about it. Don't do anything, but don't worry about it. Oh man. And that's when I reached my limit. It's like that's when I started going to school. And it was neat because for a while there we were both in school. I was at college and she was at elementary school, but we were both getting bitchin' grades. We both got straight A's, 4.0s. And it was something different for me because I had always been not a poor student, but not an accelerated student, not an excelling student. I was never on top of my game 100%. My grades went like this. They just went up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Because sometimes I'd be with it, and most of the times I'd be not. And so I'd get like middle of the road grades, C's and D's, and occasional B's. That was it. And it was neat to have that school companion. I think at one point we both got on the dean's list, the president's list. We were, getting awards and stuff, going to award shows, and that was really neat. And now she's at the same college, getting better awards, achieving more, doing better. It's freaking awesome. You can't ask for something anything better than that, than your daughter to do better than you in everything. Even psychologically, she's studying psychology. So, I mean, she's like, she just keeps picking the right directions, All I know is my daughter's got it made, compared to what I was doing at her age. Now, at her age, I wanted to go to college. I would have done anything to go to college, but I didn't know what the hell to do, right? I didn't pay attention in school. I didn't talk to counselors. I didn't get hooked up. I didn't worry about graduating with the right credits and all of that. I didn't know shit. I tried to go to my family, my father, and say, hey, you went to college and university. I want to go. How do I do this? You can't do it. You ain't got the money for it. Yada, 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 yada. I think it's too much. You're not good enough. I just got all negative. I'm sure that if somebody else in my family had wanted to go to college, they probably would have done more to help them go to college. But it was me, so it was like, the redheaded stepchild. And that was a bummer. Of course, my father never used his GI Bill, and he never used anything from his service to help him through college because he was saving that, of course, to buy a home or something later in life. So he was saving his GI Bill benefits. That isn't until he married someone younger than me, somebody from our hometown. And then he put that person through school and sent that person to university and college on his GI Bill. Now, his significant other, I can see that happening. But that was 10 years after I asked if I could go to college and could you help me go to school? And I got shut down. I got shut down big time. And it was a small school. It wouldn't have cost much. In fact, it wouldn't have cost anything had he helped me deal with the financial aid of the end of the situation. But he just, he wanted to crawl into the mountains and hide from the world. And that's what he taught me to do. He taught me to hide from the world. And I spent most of my childhood and adult life hiding from the world because that's what I learned from my father. What a mistake that was, you know. I mean, it was bad enough that I suffered from chronic depression, right? Social anxiety. So it was hard enough. And then to be taught all of these post-traumatic stress disorder rules of life from his Vietnam days. Yeah, I totally inherited his PTSD, at least parts of it. The home parts of it, not the fighting the war parts. Although while I was a very, very small child, I did hear graphic retellings of his adventures in Vietnam. So yeah, I grew up hearing about blood and guts and gore and death and necklaces made of ears and fingers and noses and guys collecting body parts for bounty so that they could get a case of beer or something after the fight, right? And literally, that's the way it worked. All right, how many of you guys brought me some ears? And their commanding officers wanted to see, you know, they wanted to see gook ears. I mean, give me a fucking break, right? This was, this is the war, you know? And I grew up on this shit since I was a little fucking kid, hearing these tales of death and destruction, you know? Yeah. Not only that, I mean, I was talking to Roy about my childhood and why things were so heavy growing up and why I have no need for adventure in my older years. Because I had so much fucking adventure as a child that I didn't want. You know, it's hard to go out into the world and think that you're going to have an adventure when the adventures you're used to usually involve a lot of trouble. And yeah, I am not seeking any adventures. I'm not seeking. I will take any adventures that come my way, but I'm not going to go out and yeah, on my own. I don't know. Maybe it's just fear, you know. But I've had a lot to be afraid of my whole life. So, all right, I'm going in. I'm going to kill a little pain. So let's see. What did I do last night? Last night I didn't do much of anything. I came home from the boar with a slight buzz. That was quickly remedied. As soon as I got back, we made some tacos, and I had some tacos. Of course, I didn't get a whole big buzz down at the bar, mainly because I only had 2 beers over the couple of hours that I was there and a handful of fries. Make that basket. Oh, what a horrible shot. Oh. And let's see. Down and got my usual had some dubage delivered. Of course, I was at the bar when they came, so I had to reroute my delivery to the bar and get some more. I love this this brand of Coastal Sun is really good stuff. And now it comes in a quarter, so I got a bigger one, the bigger one. And you know, bigger is cheaper. The more you buy, the less it costs by the portion or by the gram. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you got to buy a little more to get a price break. Ah, and yeah, good people. Always timely delivery. Uh, I get deliveries from 2 places out here. I won't mention them, uh, even though I have in the past. I don't want to break any YouTube rules. It seems that I have broken some YouTube rules lately. Good morning. How are you? I posted a commercial, a 90-second promo for my friend's marijuana seed farm. Let me see what we got going on here. And it went against the rules. So, hey, Crazy Mike in the garage. What's up, dude? What's going on? How's things going up there in Canada? Eh? I think if you're doing on the down A, then you're still talking. But if you go up on the A, then you're waiting for a response, right? At least that's what Mike Myers said. But yeah, man, I had a fantastic friggin' weekend. Not much good. Too much. Yeah, if you get a chance, check out some of my videos. I've just been posting videos like crazy. My daughter's a concert junkie, so we've been just going to a lot of concerts. So the footage is like over a year old now. So I'm starting to post some of that footage. I don't like to take the bite out of somebody's tour. And I don't want to see stuff from a show that I'm going to see. So I try not to post any current concert footage, although we've got lots. We record video to every show that we go to. The last show that I went to was Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real, Willie Nelson's son. And it was fantastic. I didn't record a whole lot. I like to enjoy the show. If it's like the opening act, sometimes I'll record like the whole opening act because I'm not there to see them. But when it comes to the main act, my daughter will set up her phone and just record the whole thing. I'm more likely to record parts of songs and then maybe a favorite song. But yeah, I put together some more concert videos, and that was really neat. But like I was saying, I put together this commercial for my friend's marijuana seed farm, and got in trouble with YouTube because I'm not allowed to do any advertising of controlled substances, right? And I totally get it, and duh, go figure. But what was really cool was creating the commercial. In creating the commercial, and I just did it for free. I mean, I just did it because I wanted to do it. I was able to find out more resources to create other videos. So I found the Internet Archive, which gives me access to all kinds of copyrighted free, royalty-free materials from the past, old movies, radio recordings, that kind of stuff. And then I found new resources through YouTube and through my editing program. And then I've been trying new techniques in editing and different special effects features. And then I've also started using a photography editing program that creates where you can take images and turn them into 3D objects. So I've been taking my captions, my letters, my text, and creating it there so that now I can turn it into 3D, drop the background away from it, and then pop it in over the top of video like you can do with the text, like the credits rolling up and that stuff. But now I can take these words and stuff and bounce them around and animate them and do cool things with them. And then if you take things and you take a drawing and you color it, and then you color it again, only slightly different, and then maybe you change the colors moving in one direction, so that then when you upload all of these pictures stacked together for just increments of a second, and you play them together, now you've got flashing, or you've got rolling or waves of colored animation stuff. So it's like the poor man's way to animate something. And I'm learning that you can get a whole lot out of just a little bit. So if you get a chance, stop over on my channel and watch some of my new videos. I did the first episode. Corporate gave me the okay to do the first episode of my Friday Night Live. I had done one pilot with a friend, David, who yesterday I went to open mic night with, but it was during the day. But Friday, a friend from open mic night came up, and we did over an hour-long live broadcast, interview, live music. He played 3 songs, and we just had a blast. Fantastic guy, a fantastic voice. So if you go to my channel, and you just go right to my channel and start scrolling, it's like the very first video that comes up and starts playing. Friday Night Live at 5 with special guest Roy Pitluck. It's a different kind of show. It's completely live and unscripted, unrehearsed. I mean, he literally showed up and we had enough time to get plugged in and do a sound check. And I didn't write down any questions except for a couple of things that I needed to say to the viewers, and then a couple of things I needed to remember to ask him. But once I started the interview and I started talking and started asking him questions, he pretty much just rolled from every question and then into answering the next question before I could even answer it. I mean, it was really a great second interview for me, and I'm thriving on it. I'm Jones on. I need another interview. So I over the weekend, I sent away for cards. I printed up some really bitchin' crazy old weird bearded guy cards, and I'm real excited about getting those, and then looking a little more professional when I go to somebody at an open mic or a show or an event and saying, "Hey, I'd like to get you on my kooky little internet show." And it's growing really fast. I think, Mike, when you first subscribed, we were in the 20s, maybe even below the 20s subscription wise. And now we're up over 60, 62, I think, subscriptions. So now I'm able to go live mobile, which is really bitchin'. I've done it a few times now. We dropped our daughter off at a Fall Out Boy concert in Anaheim, and then drove over to downtown Disney, and I did a little bit of live broadcasting from there, and that was really cool. And so yesterday at open mic, I set my camera up and started recording and got some great sound. The video quality just sucked. I've got an older Android phone that just blows. At some point I'll get my daughter's old Apple phone. When she goes to university, I'm going to get her old Apple computer and her old Apple phone, which should really boost up my tech here. But yeah, I recorded for over an hour yesterday live, and there was some great stuff. I glitched a little bit and went in and out a few times, because you can't do 2 things at once on the phone. But if you do have to answer a telephone call on your phone while you're live, you can do that, and you go dead on live, but your stream stays live. And then when it's later in recording, those chunks of time are just edited out, right? So you go from here, and then there's a break, and then it's just a quick jump to, a minute later, which is really cool because you're still live. And I thought I would have killed my live stream playing around with the phone. So there's a few glitches in it, but other than that, it's a fantastic first live, hour-long segment. And my friend David, who did the pilot Friday Night Live, he was there. He plays his grandmother's dobro slide guitar. And it's just a beautiful guitar, and it was willed to him. Peace. I'll be here, brother. But the guitar was willed to him, and he finally was able to get it once they thought that he was old enough and wise enough to be responsible for it. And he is, and he really, really plays it well. He's really learning that thing, the ins and outs. It's got a few great songs. Yeah, it's so he's there. There's a lady who plays the harp, little one of those little what the hell are they, little harpsichord things where you push on the keys and you strum it. She was great, fantastic voice. She was the dancer out there. She was out there spinning and dancing like I used to see at the Grateful Dead's shows, which is probably seen her before. Pink hair, green dress, probably in her 60s. And just a phenomenal voice. She was doing Irish standards. She did Oh Danny Boy, and it brought tears to everybody in the friggin' house, right? Just fantastic stuff. I wasn't able to go and get any of Nina live, but Nina was probably my favorite act of the day. I got to see the whole show. I showed up right as the first song started. Like I said, I was in the van and heard them start, so I ran in and got a seat. And Nina was my favorite act. She really was. I had seen Tommy Tom before, so Nina was a big surprise for me. I mean, to hear a soulful R&B version of Hotel California, it made my knees weak, right? She was the bee's knees. She was. I better warm it up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's been a hell of a. Oh man, it's been a hell of a long couple of weeks. They've gone by really quick, but it's just everything's just been so jam packed, right? My daughter went with her friend to a opening house at university where she's going to be attending in the fall. In fact, they got a really cool shirt. I'll have to wear my cool shirt tomorrow. I'm still hanging on to St. Patty's Day, which is why I'm wearing my green shirt. I only get to wear this shirt one day a year, so I figure, what the hell? I'll wear it again this morning. I think I hear a dog. Let me go check to see if I hear something. Oh yeah. So walking in the. All right, no wedgie, no wedgie. So yeah. Where the hell were we? So yeah, back to where I was about the weekend. Oh, that's good stuff right there. So spent Saturday working and making videos, and then Sunday. no, I was off on Saturday. I'm sorry. Friday before work, before the Friday show, I had a little work. And then I was off on Saturday, so I just worked on videos. And they're real slow going because my computer's so old. I can only do one thing at a time. It takes forever to edit. It takes forever to save and process. I can't view anything that I'm editing because it's just not fast enough. So there's a lot of guesswork involved when I'm editing. I approximate. I'll watch a video of something that I'm going to edit. And then I'll jot down a few marker times so that when I put the video into the editing program, I can just go to those marker times and chop and copy and paste and clip and that kind of crap. I'm finding out that as long as I don't remove anything video-wise, I don't have to detach the audio from the video, so that if I want to take the video and chop it up, the audio remains constant because it's on a separate track. Right? Sometimes the audio in the video can be skewed a little bit because of that. And then your voices, you gotta, and the drum is not matching up with the beat. But I'm finding out that if you're just going to chop the video, you don't need to detach the audio, and it will play through smoothly the sound, even though the video has breaks all through it, and the video is zooming in and zooming out and moving around. The sound remains constant, and there's no glitches where the clipped pieces together, are joined. Only if you put in some kind of what do they call that? Transition. Only if you put in a transition between the two clips, then the sound gets a little weird, right? But as long as you don't screw with anything and it's just clip, 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 the sound plays through pretty smoothly. So I found that out in working with the latest video that I uploaded, the concert video. Pardon me. And that one was Harry Styles' Golden, my daughter's favorite song. And, I can take the video. At first I found that I could take the video of a phone angle, right? And that's 9:16. And I could take that and then I could zoom into it and make it 9:16 just by zooming into a certain portion of it, right? So I could zoom it into 9:16. And then I found that I could take that zoomed in picture and slide it up and down. So like if my glasses were the lens, now I'm looking at the top part of the phone screen, and then I'll make a clip of that, and then I'll clip it, and then I'll move it up, and then I'll let that play for a little bit. And then I found that I could take that phone view and crop a little piece of it in 16:9 view, and then just zoom into that, and then kind of hold that position. So that's helping. So I can go from one where the 9:16 fills the screen in a certain spot, and then I can crop and pull way in fast and see, some detail, and bounce around, and split screen and have two different things going on, be looking at the monitor and be looking at the stage at the same time. So that was interesting. Making that video for my friend, that taught me a lot about editing, overlay, using old movie footage, sound effects, the YouTube library of music and sound. So many resources. So now it just takes the next one, up a few notches. So, and I keep getting these ideas of, oh, I can make a cool video with that. Oh, I want to do that, you know. And as much as I can, I try to write down notes or text notes to myself, you know, don't forget to do this. And as much as I do that, I still, you know, I can only glom on to about, you know, 10% of the shit that comes out of my head and wants to be done. You know, there's not enough me to do all of what me requires, you know. So it's hard to find enough time in the day. Usually it's at nighttime is when I find most of my time. I was in here sitting with my wife around 9ish thinking, all right, I'm going to go to bed early and get up early and not have to take a nap tomorrow, right? I got to do my show in the morning. And if I get some good sleep tonight, well, I can just stay up tomorrow and in the afternoon after the show, I can get a whole bunch of more stuff done. And then David might come over so we could do some guitar work. And so I'm like, all right, well, then I'm going to get to sleep early. And wouldn't you know it, I'm sitting here in this chair till almost midnight editing video. Something I swore I wasn't going to do after the bar. And I just, you know, it must have been that new weed because it really gave me a creative flow. And I was like, wow. I got to do this because I got this idea. And it was like, okay, this is an idea that I could put together. I can cobble together the pieces really quick and I can start working on it. And it's one of those things where you take a drawn picture or some text or something and color it and then save it and then color it differently and then save it and then animate it so that you get a back and forth flashy animation thing going, right? So I did that. And almost finished the video. And then I started having some, you know, some slow down issues where you grab something with the mouse and you grab it with the cursor and you try to move it. It doesn't want to move. And so you try it again. And then you realize in a minute that all 3 times that you did that, it registered. And now you've got 3 things going on instead of the one, and everything's all just screwed up, just discombobulated. So I thought, all right, well, I know how to do this. I've got most of it constructed. I'll just set it aside, come back to it another time, and reboot the computer to speed it up, shuffle some stuff over to the hard drive to give me some more memory. It's getting to the point to where I'm really thinking about getting another one of these Acer computers with Windows 10 or 11, so I can keep the same kind of video editing programs. If I can get a computer to work on, I can pretty much dump everything off of this computer and only use it for mornings and video editing, right? And then use another computer for some pre-production work and production work, making videos, right? And then shuffle it over here to edit. Shuffle stuff back and forth depending on the video editing programs on each computer. You know, it's like, okay, I can create this portion of the video here and then save it, and then create this portion of the video here and then save it, and then this here, and then bring it all together here and compile it together in one segment, right? And so for tech purposes and speed purposes, I'm finding out that creating the opening of a video and then saving it, 15 seconds, saving it, the end of a video, 45 seconds, save it, and then create the meat of the video and then save it, and then just tack the 3 pieces together, do the transitions, fades, and then just save it all, right? I'm finding that is the best way to work with a slow, sluggish computer. Just do sections. Of course, the meat of it is usually 3 to 5 minutes long. And if there's a lot of edits and a lot of overlays, transitions, underlying, sound and photos and video and stuff, then it can be just horrible to edit, and then to try to save and process and stuff in a timely manner. It just doesn't work. So yeah, I think a new computer is going to be a must. And some kind of audio video mixer, I really love having the older technology, but I feel like I really need some new technology to help with the age, to offset the whole tech issue with modern versus the past. That's where I get into trouble. I can take my phone, or preferably an Apple phone when I get it, and or some kind of digital video camera, webcam, and capture really good, solid, strong, clean, clear picture and sound. Because it's the editing. Nowadays, it's in the editing where you can take it and you can age it. You can make it look like you shot through a 1980s camcorder, or, a TV station video. So, or that it's, been recorded onto VHS or something. And that's where I really dig the whole post-production process, because I can take something, I've shot videos on older cameras where you don't really have to do anything to it. It looks like it was shot back then. And that's pretty cool. But I like that you can take any kind of new, clean video and make it look aged and get some really cool effects in there. And the cleaner, the better the picture you have, the cleaner the camera. You can have a fishbowl view of something that you're watching, right? And if you've got a good enough digital device you're capturing it on, then you can just crop in, and all of a sudden you're right up front on the stage with the person and the picture's clear. I could try to do that with my phone now, and you get a little real pixelated. You get real blurry and pixelated when you zoom in like that. When I do it on my daughter's phone, not so much. So I'm anxious to see that. And then I'm anxious to see the new footage that she's captured on her new phone, because she's already got her new phone. In fact, I can get her Apple phone anytime. My only issue is that I have to get onto all of my accounts and go through and change passwords, right? And then record all of those passwords, and then I can go in and have the phone numbers switched over. But I can't do that until I figure out passwords. Otherwise, I have to continue to do stuff from my older phone and my new phone, which I did for a while with the phone before this older phone. I had an older phone, and I used to have both phones around. In fact, I've just recently I stopped using that older phone, and now I'm just using this older phone. Now I'm going to get my daughter's older phone and start using that. This is my wife's older phone, and it's just that I'm not, one to worry about having the newest, fanciest, biggest, coolest crap. I'm not that kind of guy. It just doesn't mean, that much. I mean, when I was growing up, there were certain kids who had to have, the same tennis shoes that their favorite sports figure or TV star or rock star wore. It's like, Mom, you got to get me this because so and so is wearing it. And it was like that. All the girls had to wear Calvin Klein and Jordache and what were those other jeans the girls used to wear. But maybe it comes from not having anything and not, being so poor all the time that you couldn't afford the newest, fanciest shit. So I just never got into it. It's neat to have those things, but it's not. It's just not important, really. Ah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna have to heat up this coffee. Well, so Mike in the Garage has become Crazy Mike in the Garage, and that's pretty cool because I went from Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy, 2738, to just Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. I thought that I had to have that. There was like 20738, 2030. I thought there was a whole bunch of me out there. Turns out it was just a name. It's a tag. All right, so that's my 1982 Shamrock shirt. This is it's a California shirt, so we got the surfers on it. It's my green Bud Light 1982. This is my St. Patty's Day shirt, basically. I have a green flannel that I also wear. I like to, with this one, I like to wear my orange crush hat, which, believe it or not, is yellow. It's like more like the pineapple crush, right? But it goes, the yellow goes great with this yellow in here, and then the yellow hat itself has a little bit of green in it. My daughter and wife taught me to color coordinate. I didn't give it much thought all growing up, well, as a teenager I did. And then through a lot of my adult life, I just did not. Yeah. But, oh, wow. Hi there, everybody. Am I on? No, really. I'm not that bad yet. Although sometimes I wonder how long it's going to be before I'm sitting in a chair drooling, playing with myself, because I don't know. We're all going to get there eventually, I guess. For most of us, it probably won't be that bad. Yeah. So let's see, what have we talked about? We talked about Friday show, the after hours hanging out. We talked about Saturday, a lot of video editing. I uploaded a couple of videos. I looked, and it's aside from my morning shows, which are 4 days a week usually, and then those turn to video, right? So aside from that, I'm doing about a video upload a day. So things have really been going up on my channel. I've almost reached 100 videos. Oh, pardon my. I've almost reached 100 videos. And that's all mostly original content. All right. We've got, over almost 60. Over 60 live deals, morning show, live stuff. We've got, I think, 16 or 18 music videos going to a show related stuff. We've got some original content that I created over a year ago that I'm just about ready to start adding on to. I've been getting into the live stuff and making these short videos, so I haven't been really getting into any heavy video projects. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that David, if you're watching, get over here. That David's going to come over and we're going to lay down some acoustic guitar tracks. So I'm doing this Sunday's show, and it'll be a recorded, broadcasted show, fully edited, and it'll be video segments like the Sunday morning show or like Real People or something, right? And it'll be these monologue, prologue, segues, and segments, right? Basic. And then one of the segues in between a couple of the segments will be a segment in itself. You know, like Charles Osgood used to sit and play the piano on Sunday mornings. So something like that. So there's one segment that I created that is about 15, 20 minutes long. And in it, it requires 3 segments of music. It is a slideshow from my father's time in Vietnam, 1967. So I created, I took these 46 some slides and turned them into a slideshow, and enhanced it. Try not to give it too much special effects. I didn't get it too fancy, but I did try to give it the respect that it deserved. I didn't do any talking or any text in during the video. I just wanted the photographs and the faces to speak for themselves, and I think I did pretty good with that. But there are scenes of the men in my father's hooch, hanging out, and in the rec room playing pool. And I need music coming out of the radio while they're hanging out in the pool room, hanging out in the hooch, right? So there's 3 portions of this video where that's going on, or 2 portions. And then there's one portion where they're out cruising through a village, right? One of the little towns there, dirt Main Street. And it's kind of like one of those places on the outskirts of town. So I thought that needs a specific song, right? So I was talking to him yesterday, and it was like, yeah, we could, he's like, we could do something like that, I'm like, all right, we need like the Doors, something from the Doors, like Run Through the Jungle from Creedence, right? And we need a good Rolling Stones song from the 60s. Now, one of my father's favorite songs by the Rolling Stones was Little Red Rooster, right? I'm your little red rooster, baby. So we might try to pull something like that off. David's very versatile and can pick stuff up real quick if you don't already know it. Yeah, he's 10 years my junior, but he's got a lot of mileage, so he's got a lot going on musically. Yeah. So I always get real worked up and excited when I'm hanging out with David doing that creative thing, because it's just always a lot of fun. It's just always a lot of fun. Even if we don't get anything done, even if we just record a bunch of crap or something, it's still, it gives us something. There's a takeaway, and it shows up in our other stuff if it doesn't show up in something that we do together. So it's pretty cool, and I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. So let's see, if it's 6 a.m. here, it's got to be 8 a.m. over there where Mike in the garage is. Yeah, I believe it was Gorilla Gold Hunters Mike that was further east in Canada. And Crazy Mike in the garage here, I believe you were a little closer west than the East Coast. So yeah, it's probably some kind of work time. But for all I know, you could be semi-retired like me, and you could just be out there in the garage. This is my garage. Uh, I was at one point in my life. I was into cars and grease under the fingernails and always aching from working on some kind of thing, right? Lately, not so much. Lately, it's been more, I do have projects that need to be completed. I've been throwing myself into this and all of the music stuff that's been going on and the concerts. And it feels like I'm always recovering from some kind of outing, whether it be somewhere here locally or 3 hours from here. The longer the trip out of town, the longer it takes to recover. Even when we just went out to Pappy and Harriet a couple of weeks ago, even then, I mean, I was still up, till 2 a.m, and we did, we got home at like midnight. Yeah, okay. So we got food on the way home. So I had to sit up all night wrestling with whatever it was that I ate. But it just seems like there's always something going on lately. I'm always, yesterday, unexpectedly, boom, out to open mic. Last, Friday, it was out of the blue. It was like Sunday or Monday. I talked with Roy and he's like, so you want to do that live thing? And I'm like, well, not really. And he's like, well, because I'm going to go out, and do a 10-week thing, promoting music and doing that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, God, 10 weeks. And, when is that? Always leaving in a few weeks. And it's like, well, shoot, if that's the case, then you're going to be gone for, you're gone next week. So it's going to be a month and a half before we're going to be able to do anything. And it's like, well, I don't want to wait that long. Yeah, let's do it. Let's set it up and do it. And I literally said, yeah, let's do it. And then didn't even think about it. I just, like my father said, don't worry about stuff until it's too late. And then there's no time to worry about it. Just do it. So I try to live my, not my whole life like that, but the things that I know will give me trouble. I know the things that are going to stay in my head and bother me and keep me awake and frustrate me and make me nervous. So by the time I get to what I've got to do, I'm just a wreck. So I don't think about it. And I didn't. I did a few, I did a live check and then I put it out of my head. And then I did a sound check like an hour before he showed up. And then I had been doing video editing. So my little hard drives were hooked up instead of my microphone and camera, so that when we were going live, I couldn't get the right cameras to come on because the camera I was switching from wasn't even plugged in. So the YouTube was glitching me. So I literally had to stop, go out, switch cameras or switch USB plugs, and then go back in and then switch from the camera. And I did it, and I was able to go live within a minute or two of the 5 o'clock schedule, which was cool because that could have turned me into a wreck and made the rest of the show screwed up. But I didn't let it frustrate me. Organic is my word. Just let it flow. It's live TV, so having done months of this show, doing live stuff with other people becomes a lot easier because I can put them at ease. And while I was nervous the first couple of minutes of Friday night's show because I had a guest and there was the potential of many people, I think it was only one person who watched the whole show. I got a little nervous at first, and my guest actually put me at ease. And it was a fantastic show. I think it was one of the best things that I've been able to do, other than that commercial that I made that'll never get aired because it got booted off of YouTube, and you had every right to boot it off YouTube. And I will definitely pay attention closer to the rules and regulations of YouTube, because this is a lot of fun and I don't want to lose this. I mean, this is a big part of my life now. So if I make a video and YouTube says, flagged for copyright or flagged for content or age restriction or something, take it away. You know, I'll have it at home. I'll put it onto video, DVD or VHS or Betamax or something, and then I'll have it for me, you know, and then I can share it. You know, I can say, okay, well, who's going to sign up for the drawing? And if you sign up for the drawing and you win, I'll send you a VHS tape with the best of my stuff, you know, and I'll just take a bunch of my segments and dump them onto videotape for you and give you like a 6-hour videotape of stuff, you know, or a DVD filled with stuff. I'd rather do the VHS because I live in the past and I can do that. Get 100 VHS tapes I could use, or Betamax. I got brand new Betamax tapes I could use. So yeah, just like my idea for giving away a mixtape. What kind of music do you like? What do you listen to? What did you listen to back then? What was your favorite genre, your favorite band? You know, when you put on the radio, what station was on and what were they playing? What bands did you go to? You know, what was your childhood like? That kind of a thing. Talk to somebody, do like an interview with somebody, just so that I could find out what their likes and dislikes are, so that I can kind of curate a little gift package specifically for that person. You know, there are some people where I've been talking to on Facebook and in Messenger and stuff and in text that I already know. You know, I have ideas of what I could send to them if they were to be a winner in a drawing, right? And I'd love to send stuff to everybody, but at some point it's going to get logistically impossible to send stuff to more than a couple of people at a whack. And when we get to 100 subscribers is when I'm going to do my first giveaway. Literally, I'm going to throw names into a hat. You know, I will be pulling names from the subscriber list, and I will be pulling names that I already know that I see in the comments. And then I've got probably, 50 subscribers that I have no names. I don't know who any of these people are, right? So I'm going to have to gather some information from Facebook, and then I'll put in names of people who I think are probably watching, right? And then I'll draw their names and then get them to respond in some kind of message so that I can find out what to send them. You know, am I going to send them a t-shirt, some vintage matches and Zig Zags and incense, or, some bumper stickers, some concert paraphernalia, some hometown stuff. What are you into? What's it gonna, what can I put together for you that's going to make you have your own little time machine, right? And that's all this stuff is for me around here. This is my time machine. H.G. Wells ain't got nothing on me, man. No way, no how. Yeah, in a heartbeat, I can, boom, be back in the 80s, and it don't take much, Look at my favorite time device here. That's it. That's my time device. Yeah. Now, once again, every time I smoke this stuff, I imagine somebody out there my age, my age back in 1982, back about when I started smoking, 1981, 82. I imagine, someone that age out there in the world, or older or younger, who's thinking about trying marijuana or trying any kind of smoking at all, right? And my first advice is just don't even go there, right? Just don't even go there. Um, smoking is gonna give me cancer, you know, um, and that's what it does. Yeah, it's got a lot of benefits, but if you're gonna smoke it, you're going down the wrong path. I should never have started smoking. Uh, there's much easier ways to do it now. You could just get some edibles if you want to try it, and they're getting better at those, so they're easier to regulate. I never got into edibles because it's hard to regulate your pain and your buzz with edibles. Um, I've been smoking since I was 15, so um, I know exactly how much, depending on the strain, I can gauge how much I'm going to need to deal with my pain, and then versus actually wanting to get a buzz or something. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's better ways to spend your time than being like some crazy old weird bearded guy. You know, shit's gonna kill me. Let's not let it kill you. Uh, it's been a help in my life more than a hindrance because of my chronic depression and anxiety and stress, and then in the last 15 years pain. So yeah, it's going to stick with me more and more. I try to use the edibles and I try to get away from the smoking. At some point, I'll be able to pull away from the smoking altogether to give myself a couple extra years if I've got that much left. Uh, so, on occasion, I get to talk life and death with some of the people in my life, David and just recently Roy and stuff. And I find that, you know, it, I do see things a lot differently than even my peers, even the people that I look to um, for guidance and help. Um, but yeah, um, I don't know. Maybe it's my own fear that keeps me from being afraid. Maybe it's the old, adage my father, don't worry about something until it's too late, and I wonder how that helped him in his time of dying, right? How did that help him? Don't worry about it till it's too late. Um, I guess it can be a good thing and a bad thing. Um, so, I mean, basically, I just try to look at it like, you know, it's an inevitability that we all face, right? So we're not alone in that. We're not alone in the fact that we all, are born, we live, and we die. We are not all on the same schedule, not by any means. Um, for the most part, we all pretty much live about the same amount of, time given, other factors, health and random chance, whatnot. And I mean, some last a couple of seconds, some last a couple of seconds past 110 years old, so who knows? It's it all is random chance. I mean, I could be here one morning and gone the next. Tomorrow morning I may not be here. It's just the way it is. I can't change. I can't help that. I can't do anything to forego that. I could do exercise and eat right and all these things, which I've done. You know, um, I even now in my aged time where I'm, my health is, eh, pain is like, mobility is, and I'm doing it. I'm busting ass trying to get as much done as I can. You know, because that's all we get. You know, and I just want to make the most out of my time that I have left. And I don't see me out doing a whole lot of physical stuff unless it ties into something that I'm doing. All right. Because for the most part, I get my physicality out and doing what I got to do. Right. And that's where I get my physical stuff, my exercise. Granted, it's not as much as I should, but it's what I get, and everything else pretty much has to fall in line to my present world projects. Um, I have to put so much energy into the things I do with my daughter that I'm not given a lot of energy left over to do a lot more than sometimes just show up here, right? But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna fucking do, eh? I take what I got and I take it and I use it, and that's it. I gotta heat this up one last time. Yeah, it'll be great once I get no wedgie. Once I get these other computers and phones and stuff set up, I'll be able to go live mobile a lot cleaner. I really want to do a live remote from someplace that doesn't have a really good, strong Wi-Fi signal or plug-in. If I take my computer over to a place to do a live remote and they've got a signal, I'll plug in my Ethernet cable and get some networking, so I get a strong back and forth, which is how I do this show. Right here in my living room using my Wi-Fi modem. I'm plugged right directly into the modem to my computer, big long cable. Just like the long cable that takes from this computer all the way over to the other side of the room to this monitor, and my camera extension on the USB all the way over to here. Microphone's got a long extension on it. So if I can take that and go mobile someplace and get a good, strong, what I wish I had yesterday, which I'm going to have to pick up, is one of those little tripods with the telephone mount. If I could have set that on the top of our table and zoomed it in and hit go and then just left it there, I would have been a happy camper. So that is the first investment, so that I can start doing these live. And I wish that I had recorded yesterday instead of going live, because the signal was so crappy that my live video from that is just crap video, and it was a good show. So what I'll probably do is use my daughter's phone and see how that does the live from the same location to see what happens. And then if I'm still getting a crappy picture saved, then I will just record and then just bring it in little short videos, or one long, hey, this is open mic on this day. Yeah, I mean, you live, you learn. I'd like to do the live thing and then just keep filling up that live concert thing with live local events and recorded, big events, and some live on location stuff from those big events. But yeah, I mean, I technology's beating me up. But I'm also learning a lot. And I believe that from the post I saw from Paul that Spaghetti Western was a hit last night, and I missed David again. Apparently, he was on the list. Bush was there. Bush is our sign-holding, street corner, standing local weirdo. And Tommy Tom was there. We saw them. I've seen them several times, and they were in prime form yesterday. So I imagine that by the evening, they were just tremendous. And then there was some other. Tavi was there toward the end, and so while I'm bummed I didn't go, I think I probably would be in worse condition because I probably would have gotten home late and then stayed up even later than midnight or 1 when I finally dozed off. And it was literally like, okay, I know I'm only going to get 1 or 2 hours solid sleep if I'm lucky between midnight and 4:20, right? And I was right. I got, minimal sleep. The only good part is that the last few days over the weekend, I've been able to catch up a little bit on some of that sleep. Sleeping a little bit late. Go to sleep at about the usual time, midnight or 1, but sleeping a little bit longer. The longer I sleep, the worse the sleep is. The more uncomfortable I become, the more pain I'm in. So, and the insomnia is, relentless. So I'm only going to get 4 or 5 good hours anyway. And if you factor in the pain, it's a miracle that I can go to sleep at 1 in the morning and sleep until 8. Right? It's just a miracle. So that's a really good night's sleep for me. Getting 7 hours, 8 hours. That's unheard of. Getting 10 hours sleep is more like 4 hours here, and then maybe 3 hours here, and then maybe a couple hours the following night. So that within a 24-hour period, I might put together 10 hours, right? But it's cobbled together because I dare not sleep for more than 4 hours at a whack because I'm going to feel it. So staying in bed for 7 to 8 hours like I did Saturday and tried to do on Sunday, it can be a double-edged sword, where my brain and my body is getting the rest, but at the same time, I'm starting to stack up this pain from being in bed in this position with my neck, cantywampus. So yeah, it's a double-edged, man. It's a total fucking bummer is what it is. So sometimes I have to literally sit and take like 2 or 3 good hits to my head and then, just crawl into bed, prop myself up and just close my eyes and get some rest. And sometimes that's all I'm allowed, and I will doze off in that sitting up position for an hour and then will wake myself up because I turned my neck or something. But hey, it's all good. I mean, I'm not one to complain. I'm above ground, right? You can't get any better than that sometimes. And just letting it flow, baby. I'm just letting it flow. I just can't get enough of Nina. I can't get her out of my head. She's just such a powerhouse voice. She's got pipes, man. She's got skills. I want to see more of her. I want to hear more of her. I've got to put together some kind of thing that's going to require her presence in my life and on this channel because I mean, that voice, wow. If we could put together a reason to get her on board with some kind of project, even if I'm just a producing element, or an editing element in something, just to be present in the presence of those lungs, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm all over that shit. Yeah, I totally spaced and didn't get her last name, but she is a regular fixture out here for open mic events. And yeah, I think it's gonna be bitchin', man. It's gonna be fucking bitchin'. Yeah, baby. So Tommy Tom show yesterday played Pipers at the Gates of Dawn, first Pink Floyd album there. And I believe I have, maybe I don't have that. I think I do have it somewhere, maybe on an 8-track. But one of my favorite songs that they played, their original, so they played Pipers at the Gates of Dawn. They played an original magnum opus, and then they played a third original, my favorite song by them, Her Butt, right? And it is it's a novelty song. It's a Dr. Demento-esque type tune, and it's just two guitars just cranking away, talking about a girl's butt eating up her shorts. And I just die every time they play it. It's just now, if I could put together a show, right, it would be a show of those novelty songs, the different acts singing their different novelty songs. There's one guy out there, God, I can't remember his name right now. Hoberman. Was it Andy Hoberman? Please forgive me if I'm getting the names wrong. But he was one of the guys from Open Mic that I've seen a couple of times. And he does these great satire songs about politics and religion and life and the future and, Elon Musk on Mars and an unemployed android, and just these great word songs where he does a lot of spoken stuff to his guitar. Freddie Blassie, talking about geeks and shit. I mean, it's just beautiful stuff. Of course, I was talking to Roy the other night, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really like that guy," and that's cool. I mean, I prefer to be, open to just about anything at this point. I was closed off most of my life. It's like, oh, I don't like that because this person looks like that, or I don't like that because this sounds like that, or it doesn't sound like something that I am supposed to like, so I got out of that. Now I listen to just about anything. I can find something in just about anything that I'm going to enjoy, right? There's got to be a part of something, if not the whole thing, then a piece of it that I'm going to want to glob onto, right? And that pretty much goes for all kinds of music. Like talking to Roy, my father was a DJ back in the 70s. And we always had music and albums and different stuff to listen to, sound effects records and old time radio and just, stuff going back to the 20s and the 30s and earlier. And that's how I grew up, listening to anything and everything. And then I got into that those teen years where you only wanted to admit to listening to the stuff of your peers, right? Of course, I was a little different, and I was introducing my peers to stuff that I had been introduced to by a father. So it was a little weird, for my friends to hear me talking about old time radio and music that they'd never heard of before, and then introducing to them to that. So that was neat. But for the most part, you had to pretty much hide all the things you knew about yourself in order to fit in with those kids around you, right? So my musical interests are just all over the map. This and who I like that. Ooh, this is my stuff. And this. I'm like, well, shit, I like all of that. It's all good, baby. Baby. Right back to me. I mean, to be able to carry her way of singing into different genres of music is just phenomenal. It was just awe-inspiring, right? And she's just cruising around there like it ain't no thing. And then she gets up on stage and she just busts it out and brings the house to their friggin' knees, wanting more. And then she's right there. She's got it. Let's do something. I right, looking glamorous as hell in front of a plain backdrop, right? Girls standing behind her and just glamorously dressed opposite, right? And do a full-on rock and roll band set up, all wearing jackets, right? The tuxedo jackets, dinner jackets, right? Black coats, white shirts. And that's what I saw, and that's another one of those things where these ideas pop into my head. It's like, wow, that I see the whole thing playing out, and it's permanently in my head. Whether it ever happens or not, it's done. It's finished. It's in my head. It's in the can, man. And so therefore, when I get to a spot, where it's like, what am I going to do? I'll go and I'll search through video footage that I have. And then say, oh, that's what I need to do. Or I'll create video footage for something, and I don't have to write anything down because I already know how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to sound, what I'm supposed to say. I get a lot of ums and uhs and but it's real. I've got the only true reality TV show out there, because everything is real. It's unscripted. It's unedited. It's unrehearsed. It's just me, unapologetically me, and I say unapologetically, and I went over this in my head the other day. Why am I unapologetic? Because I try really hard not to do anything that requires me to apologize, right? So therefore, when I do apologize for something, it has meaning and depth behind it. If you go through every day, sorry, 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 sorry. My mom taught me that I was supposed to say I'm sorry. It just doesn't have any weight. If I hear somebody saying they're sorry all the time and then they transgress upon me and they say they're sorry, it just doesn't mean anything, because it's just a word to them that they use to excuse their actions. They don't feel any depth behind that apology. So therefore, I don't apologize. I don't. I'm unapologetically me. I don't do things that require apologies. So when I do an apology, when I do apologize, it has weight, it has meaning, because this guy never apologizes unless it's important, unless I really transgressed upon you. Then you're going to get a big, man, did I fuck up? I am so sorry. I don't do that. I save it for the important things. You know, most of the time, if I've made you feel bad, that's your issue. All right. I didn't intentionally make you feel bad, so I'm not going to apologize for that. All right. That's something that you need to deal with within yourself. All right. That's your issue. All right. Things that affect you emotionally and mentally, those are your problems. You can't blame it on somebody else. Why didn't you say you were sorry? Nobody apologizes to me. All right. That's just the way it is. You know, unless of course they cut me off in the grocery store. Sorry, you know. And then it's usually bullshit, you know. Uh, so you know, come on, enough with the sorry, sorry, sorry all the time. You know, think about what you're doing, consequences. You know, don't just run through life saying you're sorry and fucking up. You know, it's not an excuse for you to get away with anything. You know, get your shit together, people. You know, old preacher man here. He's giving us a lesson on how to say sorry, Mars. Listen, you never say you're sorry. Shut up. Coffee's getting low. And it's not even 7 o'clock. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm counting down on 2 hours here on the 18th of March. And what today's it's the 19th show on the 18th of March, 2024. It's almost 7 a.m. And the coffee's gone already. Would you believe? Which means I'm probably going to have to get up and put another half a cup in this tub here. I like to use big cups so that I'm not constantly having to mix new coffee and creamer and stuff. It's hard to mix up a half a cup, but I'm getting better at it. But yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's see, what else did we have on the schedule for today? Nothing really. I'm not exactly sure what or how I want to go about today. I think I am going to set up, I'm going to prep this area over here and turn it into my green room. The little nook opposite me. I've kind of been gutting it out of stuff so that at some point I can begin construction on that half of the house, mobile home. The room that I'm looking at across from me is a dining room separated by a kitchen wall and then the kitchen. And I'm going to be taking out the kitchen wall, supporting the ceiling, supporting the floor, and doing a kitchen along that whole wall in there. And then refrigerator at one end, bathroom door at the other end. Mainly to give us more open space in here. But I've got to begin somewhere. So I've been kind of pulling stuff out and making it easier to work in here. So at some point, I'm going to be doing this show, and there's going to be plastic hanging over a whole room in there. There'll be exposed, wiring and all kinds of whatnot going on. But after, spending most of my adult life around the trades and construction and handyman and crap, I've picked up a lot. At some point, I'll take you out and show you my shed that I built. The shed that I built here, I did so because there's no room in this small mobile home for a washer and dryer. And it's been, like forever since we've had our own washer and dryer. And we couldn't trust, because of the tweakers, we couldn't trust the washer and dryer here in our mobile home community to be functioning all the time. It was just, sometimes it was working, sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes somebody put crap in there and dry their crap, and then your stuff would come out like crap. The tweakers would often break into the machines to steal the coins. So the machines, it was hit and miss. And then so then my wife would have to take stuff into town to the laundromat. So it seemed like she was always gone doing laundry. Where's mom? She's doing laundry. Where's mom? She's doing laundry. Where's dinner? Mom's doing laundry. And I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just a stupid man. Not really. But I mean, it just got so hard that it was like, what? We need to get our own machine here. Where are we going to put it? I don't know. So I'm like, okay, well, let's get us a big shed, one of those big sheds, and we'll put that out there, and we'll use that to put the washer and dryer in. Right? They're like 4 or 5. So she found one for 10 by 12, which is huge. She found one for like $400. Somebody had opened it up, figured out that they didn't want to put it together, and they put it back in the box and sold it to us. So we brought it down. I itemized everything, figured out everything was there, including the instructions, but it wasn't going to be tall enough, right? And how am I going to do the floor, right? The floor that came with metal ribs to put on the floor to attach your plywood to, but it was kind of And then what am I going to put under that to keep it from going wonky, right? So I mulled it over for a little while, and then I decided, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the form right around below the floor. So I'm going to build the sub floor first. And all I did was I took the size of the floor that I wanted, right, which had to be a little bit, the shed was just inside of 10 by 12, right? So the outside of the bottom ribs on this thing were about 10 by 12. The inside of the shed wasn't 10 by 12. They go by the outside measurements of the thing. So I decided, okay, well, I can get away with a 10 by 12 floor, right? So what I did was underneath, I took just inside of 10 by 12, and I took cinder blocks and I lined them up in the frame underneath the floor, and then I put cinder blocks in rows in between that down the middle of this big rectangle, right? So I've got the cinder block rectangle with these cinder block rows in between acting as ribs for support, all right? And then I took all of this and I filled it all in with dirt, because the desert stuff out here, once you get it wet and turn it into a sludge, it hardens like concrete, right? So I thought, okay, that's going to work. And then I don't have to get away with using concrete out here, because in a mobile home park, they don't like you to use concrete, right? So I was like, okay, I can do it this way. So I've lined up all of my cinder blocks, made sure everything was square, kept squaring everything up and leveling everything out, and then backfilled it with dirt turned into mud, so that all of the dirt came up to the top of the cinder blocks where it was all level, right? And then I took 2x8s that I already had for another that I was going to use to stand up and have them like a regular floor joists, right? So instead of doing that, I laid them down, put them in rows over the tops of the cinder blocks all the way around, and then I joined them together with 2x8s, right, in small pieces in between, right, and locked everything together with a Craig jig, right? So everything was locked together. I marked all the ends so I knew where the ribs were, so that when I laid the flooring, the subflooring plywood, particle board type stuff, that was foil backed underneath to keep the moisture and the bugs out. When I put that down, I chalk lined that where it lined up with my floor joists that were flat now to keep it from being tall. I didn't want a real tall floor on top of the cinder blocks. My God, my floor would have been this, a foot and a half off the ground, and that's why I laid my 2x8s down. And then those being on top of cinder blocks, that was strong enough to not need any support. Right. And because there's dirt all the way packed in like concrete in between all of that, even the ones that connected all of these ribs, it's just like it came together perfectly. So I did my floor with my particle board and the foil backed stuff. And then I knew that the shed wasn't going to be tall enough. I didn't want to keep walking into a shed and bumping my head and doing this shit. So I thought, okay, well, I need this to be taller. How am I going to make it taller? And then it dawned on me to build a pony wall on 3 sides, 2 sides in the back, right? I'm going to build a pony wall that goes around in a horseshoe, right? And then I'm going to put this shed up on top of this pony wall. So I've got 18 inches of pony wall, stud framed, thick plywood on the outside, everything's screwed and locked together really, really strong. I could park a car on top of this pony wall, right? So it's really, really tough. And then I build my shed on top of that. I leave the front open because it's now 18 inches taller on the bottom. My front sliding doors no longer fit, but that's okay because I want a real door on this thing. So on the front of this shed, I frame out an entire wall and doorway and leave a spot framed in so later I can put in a window, right? And I go out and I buy a really nice French window kitchen door, right? Really nice. So it's got a window on the top and a door. And it's just a really nice door. And on the inside, on one wall, I made it my utilities wall. So I've got gas coming in for the dryer. I've got hot and cold water coming in for the washer and the dryer because the dryer has a steam feature, so it takes water. I've got a drain so that it drains into our house drain and mobile home drain and then right out into the outgoing septic line. I've got underneath the mobile on the wall that we share with the mobile and the shed. That's the utility wall, so everything's easy to come underneath the mobile and then in. The 2 buildings do not touch. There is a gap between the 2 buildings because I'm required not to build off of the mobile, so I didn't. And I didn't attach anything. The only thing that's attached is a metal flange flashing on the roof that keeps the water coming off this way, and then a gutter on the shed. So they overlap, but they don't touch, right? So nothing touches. The utilities come out of the mobile and go into the shed. And like I said, I've got the gas, the hot and cold water, the drain. I did the dryer vent is under there, so you have to go underneath the mobile to clean the dryer vent. And then I did electricity. I put electricity in there. We had one breaker in our box that had one plug on it, one outlet, right? So as I go, okay, I can use that. It's a 20 amp? And it was like, yeah, I can use that one because I only need 15 for the washer and the dryer together, right? So I hooked it up to that particular, I tied into that breaker and put electricity out there. I ran 2 outlets behind the washer and dryer, so each machine has its own outlet. I put an extra outlet in next to it, above and below, so I could put in a work table for my wife in case she wants to make it into a sewing room as well.
I ran electricity into the front door wall and put in 2 switches and another outlet for a shelf to charge my work batteries. I ran from the switches. I ran one up into the ceiling and hooked up a fluorescent light and a plug. And then on the outside, I hung a double outdoor light so that you can turn on the inside lights and the outside lights from just inside the doorway. And it was so much fun to build. I don't, you know, I can't say how much fun. And I did everything to code and then better, right? Because I've, been around the trade so much, I learned the importance of building things, not just to code for safety, but later so somebody could come along and say, well, we're going to have to ticket you for this and ticket you for that. And until you get a permit, we're going to have to shut you down. So if somebody were to go in there right now and pop off some wood in a few places to look at my utilities and to look at the measurements between the studs, how things are joined together, how things are flanged and flashed, and everything is done to code or better, right? I even had a friend who is a contractor come by, and he just stopped by for a visit. And I said, "Ooh, let me show you what I've been doing." And he was amazed at how at what I could accomplish. He didn't know that I could do that kind of stuff, So, I can't wait to get into the stuff that I've got to do here. Physically, I'm not ready for it. At some point, I'm going to start doing a small regiment of a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. I told my wife if we could do 2 things a month, right? Once a month, we get together on a day and we prep for a project, right? Get things like painting the house. All right, one day we'll go out and we'll get everything cleared out from away from the mobile home, take off all of the stuff that's hanging, move plants, that kind of stuff, cover up a few things, but then just get it, do some priming, some patching, some caulking, this, that, and the other, repairing, and then a week or so later, come back and mask it, prime it, paint it, and unmask it, and then do any other stuff that needs to be done, right? So if we can do something like that every month, prep a project and do a project, I think we can get stuff done. Between the two of us, since we met, we've always worked well together in everything we do, whether it's in the kitchen, raising a child, working a job together. We hit it every time, knock it out of the park. So that's right, no more coffee. So, I know that when it comes to us working on this house, it's a matter of, me procrastinating. But I know that when I procrastinate, it's to get me to the point to where I know I can do it. And once again, knock it out of the park. Whether it's doing videos or YouTube stuff, it took me like 10 or 11 years to get this YouTube thing up and running. From the time I started it to my first video was like over 10 years, 11 years, right? And then I posted my first video, which was just a short little trailer, and then a longer trailer, and then a 5-minute trailer, and then my first video, 15 minutes long, right? And then a couple of other videos, and then I took the wind out of my sails. Something happened, and all of a sudden I have no creative flow, And then once I got rid of the dead weight, all of a sudden I cannot stop. I'm unstoppable, right? And while this here in the morning is my thing, it's what keeps me going during the rest of the week. That Friday night thing has really started to really get under my skin. And I think it's probably going to be every 2 weeks for a while, unless I come up with something for this week. It's probably not going to be until the following week that I'm going to be able to come up with something, some kind of project here. I don't know that I can get David again. Now he's my go-to guest slash guest host slash stand-in host, right? Because if we get someone on that I think is a better fit for him to interview, then I'm going to have him host the show. If I'm going to be on the show as a guest so that I can be interviewed and do my own crap, then he's going to be the host. And that's how that works. So it's possible that he could be my next guest coming up real soon, coming up this week or possibly next week. If I could get, I mean, I've got like a half a dozen people in my head right now that I would love to get over here. And I'm not talking somebody like the Tommy Tom show, because they're like really desirable. And I don't think that I could talk them into coming and doing something like my Friday night show. Maybe if I were to meet them someplace and do a live remote, right? Maybe set up a small interview place next to or in my van, right? And then do an interview maybe in my van or next to my van, or, and then do the live thing on open mic, and then have them come out and do, an interview thing and do an hour show like that. And that would be fantastic. And switch it up, do something organic, just keep it real, keep it different. If that's the way we can do it this week, let's do it that way. And I'm pretty much, as long as my technology will allow me to do it, whatever that is, I'm game. So hopefully I can get the whole technology thing figured out and do these Friday night live shows more often, because it's starting to become really really fun. I'm really comfortable in the role of interviewer and host, and I want to host more. I want to do more interviews. I want to see more local talent get some views. I got a lot of good response from Nina on Facebook when I made a couple of reels of her little portions of Hotel California that she was doing, and that was fantastic. And I'm hoping that if she sees those, that she'll want to let me try a little bit more. I think once I get a little tabletop tripod for my phone, it'll make doing these shows a little easier. And then getting the little portable battery thing and charging that and taking that and hooking that into the phone, so that I'm live for the whole show, 2-3 hours, whatever I'm going to go. So once I get there, once I get there, I think it's going to take everything to another level, because I've got this crazy old weird bearded guy goes to a concert, right? And that includes open mic, other weird live music events, and anything related to those live music events that's live, and concert footage of live events. So it encompasses kind of a wide range of musical stuff, but it's all stuff that's either live or recorded live, and it's music. And I'm real excited about the whole the whole music scene out here is just, it's huge, right? And there are so many people that know so many people that know so many people. I mean, David was like social butterfly. Just, I'm a wallflower and he's a social butterfly. Just pop, 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 pop. Which is really cool, you know, because by relation now I get to be introduced to people like Nina, and you know, the Tommy Tom Show, and Bush, and Tavi, and Roy, um, and just so many talented people. It's like, you know what? Why doesn't the rest of the world know about all these talented people? You know, and is it possible that I can help in some small way get this stuff out there? You know, everybody else is you know, sharing different aspects of music, and I see a little bit of Joshua Tree out on YouTube and on the internet and stuff, but not a lot. You know, the occasional Facebook post live, um, and that kind of stuff. But there's so much out there. There's always some kind of live event, some music festival. Um, my new Facebook friend Paul from the Joshua Tree Music Network, Musicians Network, um, he's a really real integral part of the whole music scene, and puts together events, and is putting together events all the time. There's another one happening out in Morongo Valley, um, and you know, I can't wait. Sometimes things happen. It's like, oh shit, I missed something, you know, or something, you know, oh shit, that's happening today. I got to get my shit together and go over there, you know, and you know, recording more is going to be my thing. Recording more and getting it edited and uploaded as quick as possible in whatever size I can at this point. And usually they have to be relatively short, 1 to 5 to 7 or 8 minutes long. Anything longer than that, it just takes a phenomenal time to edit and process and save and all that. So, and I want to save it in the highest quality possible, and that can just take sometimes all night to save and process. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot more going on my channel. Every week there's going to be something new and exciting going on. Yeah, and I you know, I can't wait for the next thing, because I'm not really planning anything. I've got ideas on what I want to do, and I've got things in the process of being done, in production and pre-production, and a lot of stuff in post-production. I've got finished projects waiting for a release date. Some of them just need a few elements. Some of them need to be created. Some of them are saved and done, and they just all need to be tied together in a program and then released. So I'm real happy about that. If I can get some music laid down today, then I'm probably looking at no Friday Night Live this week, and trying to get my video completed for Sunday release. Sunday morning at 5, I'll release it, and then it'll be in a playlist, and on my videos, and hopefully it'll get a good response, right? Because I want to do a real show. You know, this is neat. This is more of a log, you know, a diary. Friday Night Live is all about local talent. My concerts show is just about bringing footage, you know, from different events. So I want to create a show that's filled with small segments, and then when the next show comes along, filled with small segments, then I'll take that previous show, break it up into its individual segments, and they'll be individual videos to view. So you can watch the whole show, or you can watch each individual segment from that, right? I mean, how bitchin' is that going to be? So I can't wait for that. I get pulled in a lot of different directions, and then I let myself get sidetracked a lot. And I've been sidetracked a lot creating these music videos and other little snippets of entertainment. But I figure, hey, if I'm uploading something, I'm uploading something, and that gives me time to work on these other projects. So I don't have a lot of dead time on YouTube. And lately, on average, I've been uploading a video a day for the last couple of weeks. You know, sometimes a few videos a day and then no videos, but on average, it's been about a video a day for the last few weeks. And that's pretty cool because I'm just about up to 100 videos. We'll have a 100 video party or something, you know. And maybe we'll do that, you know. Maybe this Friday, if I do a live show, it'll be a 100 video party. And I'll, you know, have somebody over. So that's cool. Oh Lord. Oh, my 12th pack here. So, you know, I can't wait to share more of this stuff with you because I've got some great segments that are, you know, that I think are different, but I think that a lot of different people of, you know, all walks of life are going to be able to enjoy a lot of these segments, you know. And I'm using one old segment, one that's on my channel now. I won't say which one it is, but I'm putting one old segment into my 90-minute show, just because I want to draw more attention to who I am and what my show is all about and why I am who I am. And I want that video to be viewed more so that I know that people want to see the next one, the next segment, the next chapter to that series. And, you know, I can't wait because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I've got some family stuff, slideshow stuff. I'll be doing music video stuff. I'll be doing some old videos from back in the 70s and 80s and releasing those as a segment. Little snippets. I've got like over 9 hours of that type of family stuff. My father's college video projects. So that'll be interesting. Some of them are whole projects. Some are a little degraded and they're a little glitchy. Some are just little snippets of stuff that have been edited over. So I have to take that big chunk of my time and sit and go through each video and upload each video individually to the computer and then save it over to the portable hard drive. And I'm going to have to save it over to 2 hard drives so that it's safe. And then those videotapes can finally be archived away. And then at some point, after I've taken all of our family stuff and have archived it at home and saved it and used it as original content on YouTube and whatever other projects, at some point it will probably be in my will to give copies of everything to surviving family members, as well as donating a huge portion of it to the Internet Archive. Because that would be one of those things. I'll start a family project and take all of my videos and family stuff and create one large catalog of audio and video and media and stuff from my life and my family, and then archive that through the Internet Archive as a family project. Some kind of little mosquito or something in here. It always bugs me. Get it? Bugs me. Get it? Bugs me.
Shut up, I get it.
Marge. Oh wait, that's Harry. Marge. Wow. So yeah, I think I'm going to cut it off at 8 today. All twitchy over here. He's got his feet sticking up in the air. That's his feet, back feet. That's his head over there. He likes to stick his feet up in the air. He's sleeping. Goober. Yeah, I think I'll cut it off at 3 hours today so that while I'm still motivated, I can knock this room out, knock that room out, get everything prepped. And then hopefully before noon, I can get some recording going on in here. Harmonica. I forgot to tell Did to bring a harmonica. Let's see if he's even up. Yeah, so like, let's go see here. Is he up? He hasn't been up for a while. He's like probably still asleep. It's his day off, so yeah. If I could, I'd still be sleeping, but I can't, so I don't try. I just give up. It's like, it's torture to try to sleep when you know you're not going to get any good sleep. So I don't even bother. I don't mind breaking up my sleep schedule. A couple hours here, a couple hours there, a couple hours there. I don't get any good REM, no good dream time, but I get some good rest, really good, strong cat naps. And then every once in a while, I get a long chunk of good sleep. All right, so we are going to be here for another almost 40 minutes, so I am going to grab some more coffee. I'll be right back. Don't nobody go no place. All right, another half a cup here. All right, no wedgie, no wedgie. Oh, wow, man. That's heavy. All right, so, and I missed Harmonica Joe. He is a guy who does spoken word blues with the harmonica, and he'll blow on his harmonica, and then he'll speak his blues, and it's kind of in a singing meter. He's got a great tempo, but it's pretty much the spoken blues, and his harmonica playing is spot on, just fun stuff. If you guys, anybody watching, if you get a chance to go out at any time to an open mic night, a local jazz bar, a local event where there's going to be a stage and live music, karaoke bar, go check it out, man. The music's what ties us all together. What keeps us human, right? music is like the international language of life and love. So get out there and listen to some live music somewhere. I had somebody pop in for a second and then they disappeared. Uh, Somebody who obviously this got popped up on their feed and they went, "What the hell? Oh, fuck that. Look at this weird dude." Um, that's cool. It's all good. Some old crazy old weird bald guy is what it is. Mm, and that's hot. Mm, that's good. All right. Who out there has to have hot coffee? You mix it up with creamer and everything and milk, and it gets a little cool, and you got to heat it back up. I got to do that. It's a little too hot right now, but it's going to stay warm for a while. My extra half a cup I get. Oh, let's see. Right, harmonica. I need to remind at some point, I need to remind David if he's coming over to bring a harmonica. If he brings over harmonica, then maybe we can lay down that let's go to the movies. And that would be fucking awesome. While I haven't played it in a while, what I'm probably going to do is get done here this morning at about 8 o'clock, get things cleaned up, get my video and audio set up, and then practice that song on video a few times and try to get it nailed. My thing is that I have to try to keep the same beat and the same tempo every single time I play it so that it's easier to match stuff up if I decide I need to come back later and add something to it, right? And what I'll probably do is I will sit here and record that a few times until I get the version that I like, and then chop that down to just that, right? And then have David listen to it and play some harmonica with it, and then just record his harmonica and drop it in. And I think, and then I can not only add in the harmonica, but add in him playing the harmonica and have him just kind of fade in and play the harmonica and then fade back out and back to the thing, which is neat because I want to show it through the eyes of an audience viewer at a theater or drive-in or movie, watching TV or something, so that we're going to be looking at the screen during that particular song going to the movies. So that should be a fun song to do and a really fun video to create. Searching out all of the elements is going to be tough. Creating a lot of the elements, I'm going to have to use my own movie catalog to grab video bites from. It's hard to get the copyright on stuff, but I don't plan on using any sound, just a few seconds here, a few seconds there, so in an instant what movie it is, right? The blob coming through the vent and then the crowd running, right? A couple of little seconds of that and you know that it's the blob. You see the close-up of the drive-in screen where The Shining is on the drive-in screen and the Twister comes and rips it apart, and you see that and you're watching the movie Twister, right? The boys at the drive-in in The Outsiders. There's just a lot of great movies. Earthquake, right? That's a great one. The girl in the theater with the big bushy black hair. She's in there watching that Clint Eastwood movie at the Royal, and the earthquake comes and shakes the theater, and the screen film goes all weird and stuff. So just a quick couple of seconds of that, right? And you're at the movies. So and then along with some vintage photos and a few family photos. I think it's going to be a real fun video to create, at the least, right? It's a really fun song. I've had fun playing it for the few times that I've played it for people. It's been a lot of fun. Uh, Roy really liked it. Roy said that's the one that's going to reach so many people because everybody goes to the movies, whether they go out to a theater or they stay at home and watch it, right? Everybody's going to the movies. So, yeah, that's going to be really cool. That's going to be really, really cool. And like I said, I procrastinate and I don't rush into stuff because creatively, I just let it flow. I just let it happen, just let it play out the way that it's going to happen. If I put a lot of force into it, um, then I don't like it. I don't feel good about it. I was telling David yesterday that there are usually two ways that I will know when I've nailed a video project, right? It's either I every time that I watch it, I laugh uncontrollably. All right. And I don't like to watch myself in anything. And even if it's in something that I did and I'm in it, right? And I laugh uncontrollably because it's just so freaking me, right? Or I'll cry uncontrollably every single time I watch it, you know. Dad, you've watched it 20 times. Why are you crying again? It's like, well, how many concerts do you go to, right? And each concert you're crying, right? Because that you've hit that spot in your life, right? And that's an important spot. And finishing any video, right, is like, and then there are those videos that I finish and I have to cry, or I just have to sit there and laugh or just beam, and then I know I've hit it, and more lately it's happened. Just when I was making my business cards, right, for my YouTube, and it's not even a business. I don't even make money on any of this shit, right? This is a hobby. So it's my hobby card, right? It's my business card for my hobby. Who does that, right? These are cards that I'm going to give to people at open mic nights and friends that I know and people that I meet so they know who I am. And if they get into some kind of project, I'm game. That's all it says. How much money are you going to make? Well, I'm not, I'm going to get likes and views and shares and subscribers and that kind of stuff, right? And for me right now in my life, that's perfect. That's all I need, because like I said, this is a hobby. I'm doing this because I enjoy I enjoy playing music, writing lyrics, and fiddling around with the guitar. I'm not a musician or a singer by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, but I sure enjoy noodling around with all of this stuff. It's just so me. I can express so much within a 60-second video, 90 seconds, 4 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's why I want to do the 90-minute show, because I can go so many places, right? And time travel everywhere. Yeah, I'm just so excited about it. I'm just so excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this music video, putting some music down for another video, creating a segment from old family camera and movie projects, right? Because my father did this weird shit like I'm doing here. He did this weird shit back in the late 70s, early 80s at the university, creating weird videos for school. And now I'm just doing it as a hobby because I learned it back then when he was doing it for school. He would take me with him and I would go do that stuff with him. So I'm just kind of reliving the stuff that I learned, when I was a kid, because this whole show for me is time traveling. That's all it's about. Every time I leave from here, I'm in that mind frame to go attack one of my projects through the eyes of my 15-year-old self, and that's pretty damn cool. When I go out to these open mic things, I mean, people are looking at me and giving me kind of a weird stink eye effect, because I'm really unapologetically me. I'm unrestrained, I'm not rude. I'm not outwardly offensive to anyone, but I don't hold back. For the most part, I'm me. I just let myself go. And I have fun. And I think for the most part, anyone who isn't a stiff-necked goose, can have fun along with me, because I'm not out there to offend anyone. I'm not out there to pick on anyone. I'm not out there to bully anyone. I'm just out there to bring a little bit of the 70s, 80s into the now. And a lot of times people figure that out. They can see that. They can see that everything that I'm wearing is of a past era. The way that I look, the way that I talk, the way that I act, the things that I do, how I carry myself. I mean, I'm still that 15-year-old kid back in high school, man. I'm just kind of old and shriveled up and bald, right? But I love it. I love going out now. I used to hate it. I used to hate going out into the world, because I would have to deal with the world and the people on their level, on their schedule, on their rules and regulations. I don't do that anymore. I do it on my terms. Go to Walmart on my terms. If I got to go out somewhere, I'm the star of the show, not the rest of the world. And that's how it used to be. I took a backseat to everyone going out into the world, because I didn't want to get involved. I didn't want to get tortured by people's stupidity. I didn't want to have to humble myself up against some moron. I just stayed uninvolved, just uninvolved. Let me just stay away. And rather than play their game, and now I play my game. And now the world has to either play my game or just, drift away and go play something else. And there are some people who look at me and just go, what did he say? I don't understand. What is he talking about? And because they're so wrapped up in their own lives, they have no room to think outside the box and think that something might be different than the little way that they live their lives every day, right? And there's no option for different, right? It's like their way, and that's it. That's all they know. So those are the people who come along and they'll look at me like, oh my God, what is that? And I'm used to that. And I'm cool with that. It's fine. Look the other way then. There are people out there who get it. More and more I'm seeing there are people out there who get it. That it's okay to be different. It's okay to be expressive and not have to fit in. And dang goodness, I better move my cushion back here a little bit. I'm going to grab this curtain, because once again, more and more the sun is going to be coming in earlier and earlier, and it just bounces off of everything. That's better. That's much better. Much more better. I get this tail sticking out over here. And that's it. And he's in there with his back legs sticking up. Weirdo. He's my dog, so I got weird dogs. Go figure. Yep. Weird dogs. Get your tail back in there. Another weird dog over there. Yeah, I've just been having way too much fun lately. Usually I'll have one fantastic day, and then weeks or months of depressive downfall, right? Where the highest peaks send me to the lowest lows. And if it weren't for this show, I would have gone to one of these concerts and then have hit low until the other one brought me back out, and then I hit low again, right? And that's just the way my depressive nature worked since I was a little tiny kid, right? Things that made me happy made me real happy. If things that would make a normal kid sad for a few minutes would make me sad for weeks and months. And then as I got older, it would go from months to years. And I would have just these, an era of depression, literally. And this show here has taken that out of the equation. I can come here and vent and talk and feel good about myself. What is that? There was a show on Saturday Night Live back in the 90s, and it was Al Franken from the Franken and Davis show from the 70s on Saturday Night Live. And Al Franken, who later became a senator or something, he did this, I think it was Jack Handy. And it was just him looking into a mirror and talking to himself. And you're nice, you're a good person, you feel good about yourself, one of those things. I think it was Jack Handy or something. But it was, that's kind of what this show is for me. It's a way for me to reflect on stuff that's going on, feel good about it, bring more positivity into my life. Every once in a while I get a thumbs up, and that means a lot, because it means that somebody gets it. Somebody understands that we're not all the same. And I've got, viewers my age and viewers that are, just becoming young adults, right? And a lot in between, right? I mean, out of my 62 viewers, I only know of 10, right, that I can see their names, and everybody else is incognito. So, aside from that 10, I know of Crazy Mike in the Garage, Mike at Guerrilla Gold Hunters, I know of Inviced, and I know of Crim. And then I know of a few people who have said they've subscribed, but I don't see their names anywhere, so I don't know for sure. I'm going to take their word on it. So at some point, I'm going to be gathering up that information the best I can, so that I can literally, physically write names onto little pieces of paper, fold them up, and stick them into a hat or a bucket or something, right? Probably a popcorn bucket. And draw names to see who gets the booby prize, to see who gets something. As long as I don't make a package too big and it's not too far away, I got no problem paying the postage. If it looks like I got to send something to the other side of the planet, it'll probably won't be real big, so that the postage is manageable, right? It might be something as simple as a couple of my business cards, a sticker, some flat items that I could put into an envelope, a stiff-sided envelope, and mail it like a letter, like a heavy letter. If I can do something like that, that's probably what's going to leave the country. Something that's not too crazy on the cost. But will I send something as far away as Brunei or Ireland or somewhere in Europe or Russia or something, or China? Oh, heck yeah, I would. If I could make a connection with somebody on the other side of the planet, something that we now share, not just emotionally and mentally and on the show, but physically, yeah, I would love that. I would love to share more with the world. The world has become a really small place, so therefore I can just go click and I'm here with somebody on the other side of the planet, and that's bitching. And I'm just some crazy old weird bearded guy in the morning, right? And that's awesome. while my live shows don't get a whole lot of views while they're live, because mainly this one's at 5 in the morning here in the Pacific Standard Time on the west coast of the U.S. So I don't get a lot of views here on the live show. In the playlist, I get a few views. There are a few shows that have gotten some pretty good view counts. Now, view duration is different. Usually, even if somebody watches it in the playlist, they're only watching it for a few minutes, and they're going, this guy's kind of weird. I get it, but I'm not going to sit and watch all of this. And like I said, this is more for me than it is for y'all. It's more for my family and friends. It's more for posterity, so that when I'm gone, there's something left after me to show that I was here, right? Even if I'm only editing a video, even if I'm only producing something that somebody else is in, it still means a lot to me, and it's gonna stay with me, and I want it to stay around so that it stays with others, right? So yeah, I'm here to stay in whatever format, whatever arena, right? I will be expanding to Instagram and TikTok and that kind of stuff at some point, but not until I get more technology backing me up, more phone, computer technology, that kind of stuff. I don't want to do any more on this computer because I'm already asking enough of it. And I want to be able to do more at the same time. So, yeah, I'm not going to be going onto any more social platforms until I get upgraded with some stronger hardware. So, but until then, I mean, we're doing okay. We're doing all right. I'm growing pretty good right now. I want this to be a slow burn, a snowball rolling down a mild grade, just building up, just growing ever so slightly each revolution, That's what I want. I don't want it to grow big overnight, because I don't think I could handle the volume, right? If I were to go like viral and then all of a sudden I got 1,000 viewers, that would be a little overwhelming. Like trying to get up and do an open mic, right, with a couple of hundred people watching. That's not really my gig. Something like this, smaller room, fewer people, some friends and family around, or just the video camera where I can just perfect it, to the best of my abilities, and then edit and release. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. My father had us in front of the camera and doing stuff all the time. And while I was able to find within me the ability to be comfortable, I never really liked it. I did not like being in front of the camera. I didn't like having to remember lines and speak them a certain way. Later on, I wanted to get into acting and drama and music and dance and that kind of stuff. But pre-teens, early teens, I didn't like it. It was unpleasant. Much like getting on stage doing an open mic. And I've tried it several times through the late 80s, all throughout the 90s. I tried to do the stage thing. And, maybe it's that adrenaline rush that people get off on that requires them to do it more, right? It becomes a thing that they need in them. I don't need that thing. I had so much of that adrenaline rush as a little kid growing up, being in constant danger and fear of my life and imprisonment, right? That, and punishment, that adrenaline, that kind of feeling felt negative, and it was never a good feeling when I'd feel like that. So I've never been able to grow past that. While I love to do the music thing, and on occasion while doing my show or the music thing with family and friends, I'll get a little nervous. but it's nothing compared to the way I feel or felt, you know, doing that live stuff when I was in my 20s and 30s, you know, and teens. Because it just, you know, I know that when you feel something and it feels, if it feels wrong, then it's probably wrong and you probably shouldn't be doing it, you know. And it's like, well, you know, if I get up there and I don't feel it, then it's probably wrong and I probably shouldn't be doing it. And I've decided that about the open mic stuff, is that until I get to that point where I feel like I want it and I need it, you know, then it's not for me and I'm not going to do it, you know. And I can't just let someone else say, hey man, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you know, because I'm at the other end of the spectrum. Yeah, I like to noodle around and write stuff and play stuff, but you know, this is more my arena. This is the venue for my stuff, is my channel. It's my home. I can feel comfortable doing what I do, where I do it, how I do it. I don't have to go outside of my safe zone to do that kind of stuff. I'm already outside of my safe zone doing this, right? It'll happen. It'll grow. It'll transmutate into something else, you know. Just let it flow. Organic. Just let it happen, man. Just let it happen. Go back to my hippie roots, you know, just let it flow. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm going to do some breathing in. Well, unless I get a knock at the door, I am probably going to cut it off in about 5 or 7 minutes. And yeah, get on with my day, because I've got some energy here, and I know if I sit after this and do some video editing or watch some TV, I'm just going to want to crawl into bed. So I think I'm going to deal with this room in here and get this ready for recording. And then if I'm feeling it, then I'm going to get that end of the room ready and sit down and do some stuff. Yeah, and getting that end of the room ready mainly means putting a lot of this stuff into there and getting it organized so that it's kind of a green room where I can sit over there and do stuff off camera and then come in here and do stuff on camera. And then it kind of breaks up the, you know, well, I feel like we're having to do stuff, because even though we were off camera, right, after Friday night's show, Roy still was catching himself saying things and talking like he was still on camera. And it was because we were still in these chairs on set, these tall white chairs, and they're uncomfortable after about an hour. So what we really should have done is got out of this and gone over there, which is why I created that, and hung out over there. And that would have, you know, split up things. Like, okay, now we're done with the show. Let's go and relax. And while we were sitting here talking and relaxing, we still had that feeling like, well, and I had to keep checking too. It's a good thing we're not on camera, you know. But yeah, we need to do that more. You know, this room is great for sitting in and hanging out on camera and off. But if you're doing both, it can get a little confusing. Are we on? Are we off? What are we doing? Are we live? Are we recording? Is it Memorex? So yeah, I'm real pumped up, and I think yeah, I've got an idea of what I want to do. I want to get everything ready in here, get the camera set up, and probably do if I can get a visitor, probably do some guitar, lay down 3 guitar tracks, and try to do let's go to the movies. And if I can get those 4 things done today, then I can finish off 2 video segments and only have 1 to go for my Sunday show. And if that is the case, then I'll work my ass off to get that last segment together, which means uploading a shitload of old video to my computer, and then taking one of those pieces and editing it into a segment, and try to give it a little bit of backstory. I don't like to put a lot of voiceover and text during a video, so it's going to be more like reading some text at the beginning and at the end, with a little sound and music, and then just let the video speak for itself, right? I think I'll get the most out of it. If my father were around or my brother were nearby, then we might do a commentary version, do one version and then do a commentary version and release them as one, and then release them as 2 separate videos, and then also release them as segments in the Sunday show. Because the Sunday show is going to be 4 to 6 segments long, usually an hour to 90 minutes, and it's gonna pull from a pool of segments that I'll be working on, right? So I'll have like 20 segments, and it's like, okay, for these 4 segments, I want this one, this one, this one, this one, right? And that's the show for this week. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do. And then I'll be doing music video stuff. If I see a music video that I've created that isn't getting a lot of views, then I'll put that into the segment as something old. And every hour to 90-minute video show will always have a past video in it that needs to be shown or just needs a little help in the view department. So it won't necessarily get any more views itself, but more people will get to actually view it as part of the hour to 90-minute segment or show. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing has just been an explosion of creativity, taking me in so many different directions. I'm surrounded by post-its and post-its anymore. I got songs popping out of my head constantly. I'm constantly searching for shit on Google, and constantly meeting new people and doing new things. And I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I want to thank all of my old subscribers and older subscribers that have been around since the beginning. I want to thank my wife and daughter for all of the help and understanding that they give me during all of this. They have been such an uplifting of weights from upon me. They have allowed me to soar to heights I never imagined, right? My daughter has gotten me out of my shell more than she even realizes it. I'm constantly out doing things and going places, and with her, and she's like, we got this concert coming up, and we need to get there early because we're doing the balcony, and she's like, no, it's you and me, and I'm like, oh, that's right. So yeah, it's just. So, thank you to everyone. Thank you to all of my friends on Facebook for helping me take this to the next level. Thank you to my family and friends for your support. Thank you for everything that you've done in my life David and Kristen, all of those new people that just keep popping up. Um, you couldn't imagine what you all mean to me, really. Um, so, yeah, stop by anytime on YouTube, on Facebook. If you know me, stop by, give me a call, text me, send me a message. I'm always ready to have a guest and go live. I'm always ready to go out and do something and record or go live or just enjoy something new and different and meet some new and different people. So, yeah, as Roy said the other day, the world is my oyster. And, oh, shucks, I'm here to stay. So, yeah, let's do it, people. Let's take this up another notch. And I am going to have some more coffee and put on an album and straighten this room up some and get my day together. I think it's time to listen to some Lucas Nelson, right? And I will see you all on the flip flop. Thank you again for stopping by. I really, I'm just in awe of the last 3 or 4 months that have just been going crazy, and the last 2 years doing stuff with my daughter have just been my wife going out together, just my wife and myself, my daughter and myself. I said to my wife and daughter, it's like, you guys go out to that show, go out and have a good time, so it's just been really, really neat with all these things going on. And I hope to share much, much more. Like I said, we're getting up to about the 100 count on videos on my channel. So I think it's about time to have some kind of 100 video party. And we'll do it again when we get to 100 subscribers, and then 500 subscribers, and then 1,000, and then 5,000 and 10,000, depending on where it goes. And I don't expect it to get that high, but the higher we get, the more I'm just going to start giving away and throwing out there. And the better the prizes will be. If you live within the United States, the continental United States, I may send you a stereo, all right, with LPs and 8 tracks and cassettes to go with it. A full-on stereo, all in one. A stereo that's got a turntable and a cassette player and AM, FM, and an 8-track. Right, and then send all of the little paraphernalia that goes along with it, so that you can literally unpack it and hook it up and play music right there from the past. I mean, wouldn't that be bitchin', right? And I've got that shit sitting right out here in my shed, just waiting. And all it takes is viewers and subscribers. So stick around, people. Yeah, I cannot wait for this to bump up to the next level. And it's happening. It's happening now. It's going on. This is it, people. Stay tuned. We've got more shows in the works, more programs, more segments. I've got segments up the wazoo, all right? And I mean gadzooks. So let me close the shutter on y'all and hang around for a few seconds so that I don't lose the end of my show. And I will talk to you all tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. This is Mornings with Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. And I'm crazy, and I'm old, and I'm weird, and I'm bearded. And I drink coffee, and I smoke pot, and I talk a lot. Talk. Mainly because I spent so much of my life silent. That's it. I finally have a forum to speak where I feel comfortable, and I'm going to speak. And I've found from the beginning of this program, episode 1 of season 1, that I actually have a lot to say. It may not mean much to a lot of people, but it means a lot to me, so I'm going to say it. All right. I will say it and try real hard not to offend anyone, because I am unapologetically me. I can't apologize for you being offended. Okay, that's your emotional issue. That's your mental, that's you. I empathize with how you feel, but I can't apologize for you being offended by something that I say, me just being me, unoffensively, right? If I do something to offend, it's unintentional. I'm not going to apologize for that. It's a bummer if it offends you and you're pissed off about it and sad and depressed, and you should seek some help. If I do something really, really harsh, if I transgress upon somebody in a bad way, then I'm going to apologize, and it's going to carry some weight. So there's that. That's what unapologetically me means. So, tune in, stay tuned, see what's going on this channel, because a lot has been going on lately, and I'm trying to bring it to you as fast as I can. And hopefully we'll have another guest for Friday. If not, if I get some stuff going on this week, look forward to Sunday. Look forward to maybe a possibly Friday and a Sunday. Look forward to more live from open mic. Look forward to more live footage from open mic, and that could be from anywhere. And I'm going to try to get the word to get the ability to record from an open mic in a better format rather than just my phone. I'm sure once I get to my daughter's phone, I'll just be able to put that on a tripod and record stuff and not have any issues. Out here, as you can see from my last live open mic, the video quality is just horrible because of the signal strength that we have out here. Our town gets overrun with tourists, and then our service really lags out here when we got a lot of people out here on the system. Oh man, we really pay for it. So our peak times aren't normal like other people's peak times, like 7 to 8 or 9 is like the peak, where it's just like so hard to get a strong signal. Where it's any time out here, because on the weekends, because there's just so many tourists and such a demand for internet and cellular signals. So anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. I'm going to let you go for the day. I will see you on the playlist, and I will see you live. I will see you back here tomorrow morning. And I am going to go out of my way to get some more stuff posted, especially Friday night and Sunday. And look forward to some kind of get together. If I can get some help putting together a guest list, I might do a live remote from a house and do like a house party type thing. Get a few people to sit around together with instruments and voices and pull something off, something new and different. So pay attention, tune in, keep up, because you never know what's going to happen here. All right, I'm going to go mute, and then I'm going to put my shutter up, and then I'm going to go out. So I will see you tomorrow. Peace. Adios, weirdos. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.